market, and I wanted to know if it's still available or you actually sold it.
Oh man, yeah, we're taking it off the market. I mean, is this another realtor calling?
Jim, yes, this is now you got it.
Yeah.
This is real estate team, but we actually specializes on selling homes that didn't sell the first time. So I was hoping to see if you would be free to get together for about 15 minutes or so to talk about why your home didn't sell and what needs to happen in order for it to sell at this point.
Oh yeah, we're not. I'm not trying to do that right now. I mean, we're gonna sell it ourselves. We're not gonna put it back
I,
on the market.
I hear you, Jim. Can you just tell me what will be a specific benefit for you doing that?
Well, I won't have to deal with you. um, really
I
good.
understand. Jim, I know it could be frustrating. I don't know how your experience was on the previous um,
Hey, it
on
sucked.
the previous selling listing. Sorry.
It sucked. Person didn't do anything. You guys,
I imagine. Yes, I imagine, Jim, because it seems like it was a frustrating experience, right? At the end, I know the result, which is that the house didn't sell. Now we will guarantee that we will do the best effort to meet that goal, which minimum standard, get the home sold, right?
yeah. I
That's what you
mean,
want, right? Get it sold, okay. But there was a reason for you to put it on the market the first time and to trust people with experience on this matter, right? Experts on real estate, but maybe you just had the wrong agent on it. I don't know if it was working maybe part time on this, and that's why you didn't give full effort on it. But we do have dedicated people that will be working on this full time for you. It would be great if you can just meet us so you can know how we work and how we will guarantee your home to be sold. What
um,
would you say about this if I can offer you, a better way, a better approach for your home?
no. I mean, we're not trying. I mean, do you have like a buyer that you can bring to the house, or are you just calling to list it?
Sure, Jim, that's a great question. Actually, we do have buyers. That's why I'm calling to know if your home is still for sale. So we can, part of the benefits for you to be working with us is that we actually do prospecting on behalf of our sellers. If by any chances, according to your needs and um, the, okay, I'm looking for a word there. According to your needs and your how much you want for the home, we need to find another buyer. Then we also do the cold calling for us to find the best buyer for your home to sell it at top dollar, right? That's our point, right? You to get top dollar for your home and to sell it in no time. What would you say if you could get all of this by listing it with us again? So you will have no hassle on all the paperwork and all the uh, time that it will require or consume from your day to actually be selling it yourself.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen. I mean, no. I don't think we're ready to do that because I mean, you kind of sound like every other agent right now trying to get my home for sale. I mean, you can bring me a buyer. That's great. I'll pay your whatever you call it, buyer's commission. But I just don't. I don't really get what you're going to be doing differently than any other agent.
Okay, Jim, I understand the frustration on it. Can you tell me, um, did you actually what do you actually expect to be done differently this time?
I don't know. I'm not the real estate professional. I mean, I'm asking you, what are you doing different?
Excellent, right? So we actually specialize on this area, Jim. So we can give you all that information on our meeting, but just to give you heads up, uh, I know this now experience. Most of the realtors on the area, they kind of do what we call the three P's of real estate, which is you might see they put a sign on the yard that your home is for sale. They place it on some websites like the MLS list, but then they sit down and pray for another buyer's agent to find it and get the sale done, right? What we actually do is we go beyond that, right? We go extra step. We do prospecting, as we were mentioning, for seller, which will increase the possibilities for you to get the home sold for top dollars because we will get the right person interested on your home, right? Plus, also, we will give you the professional photography of your home and staging of it as required to make sure that it looks as great as possible. And we have a comprehensive web-based marketing on the top real estate business for Metro Atlanta buyers. So it's not just going to be on one list, right? It's going to be actually aggressively marketed everywhere on the web. We're going to have promotions of the social media as well, blogging. We use the search engine optimization best practices, making it easy for buyers to find your home. And of course, easy and no hassle home selling experience with our dedicated listing team. This is, remember, full time, and we're concentrated on giving you the best results as possible. Will this make the deal for you?
Oh, I'm sorry, I just put you on mute. I mean, you're saying the same thing everybody else just did, and I mean, like I told you, man, I don't need an agent to sell my house.
Okay, so besides, as you said, you will not be like you will not be with an agent. Maybe you have another idea or benefit of doing the selling by yourself. I don't know if the problem is maybe the commission or if the problem is that you don't have where to go yet because we can help you in that as well. What will enable you to sell it or list it again with us?
I mean, I'm not trying to put it back on the market again. I'm just gonna do it myself and see what happens in 30 days. Because the last agent was a joke, and there's just no benefit for me to waste money on your commission.
Okay, part of what I'm understanding, Jim, is that you're really not on a hurry to actually get it sold, right? I mean, you want to try to
I am
just
in a
see
hurry.
if you can do it yourself. Yes.
No, I'm in a hurry.
Okay, so you need to still sell it as fast as possible, right? And you're going to be dedicating 100% of your time to this objective, right? I mean, you're going to be uh, promoting your home. You're going to be prospecting people or buyers, right? You're going to be showing the home. You're going to be also listing it, and you're going to be filtering. Remember that between all the people that could actually get attention for your home, we have like four types of buyers that I would like to explain you just so you have an idea on how the market is. You have like the you have the one second.
You're fine.
You have the Mosel. What was it? I don't remember the serious. You have the serious and in a hurry buyers, right? Which actually need to move and they're just looking for a specific home because of the place, the location most likely, right, or the conditions of it, and they might be interested on buying it fast. But usually, this type of buyers they already have an agent, right? So you need to have the contact with the agents, which is what we actually offer you, right? The networking that we have. Now, there's also the serious but not in a hurry buyers, which might have time to actually go and start visiting homes. So they might get to your home, uh, sometime, but also most likely because they are actually looking for a specific type of home and they are serious on purchasing it, they most likely have also requested a service of an agent like us, right? So they can get those homes filtered because they don't want to be also um, joking around or playing, watching every house that is in the neighborhood because they already have the idea of where to go. And then you have also the investors, which will be most likely interested on buying it at 10 cents per dollar, right? Which means getting it as cheaper as possible. With I will believe that it's not your part of your interest, right? And worst of all, what we have will be the looky loos that will be just visiting homes, and you will be wasting practically your time on all the looky loos that could be just for the show, right? This type of scenarios you will find them during your dedication for this objective, right, of selling your home by yourself. And this means that it will be taking time from what actually matters, your family and your actual work that gives you the income, right? So are you ready to actually take this type of um, decision? Is this what you really want?
Well, I'm not really sure. Like, I mean, like I said, I just don't know like why I would want to do that. I mean, I don't want to pay a big commission if I can just do it by myself.
Correct. Well, that's a valid concern about the commission, right? After all, we want to save as much as possible, but what about if we actually can net you what you need, what you want, still get our commission above that because we're going to be selling your home at the best possible price, right? According to what we prospect, we could be even getting a better deal for it. The best thing will be to actually have a meeting so or one of our specialists on the neighborhood that knows more than anybody your neighborhood and the market on that area, then he can visit you and do a valuation of your home to give you approximate value of how your home could be sold on the market, and we could see also what improvements, minor improvements, can be done to give that plus to your home to make sure that it sells faster and for top dollar, right? This way we all win, right? This is a win-win situation.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I consider doing it. I mean, how long is this gonna take?
Well, Jim, it's just gonna take around 15 minutes for us to sit and talk about your home, the reasons why it didn't sell, what could be done different, and what we can offer you. Besides giving you the full support, as we said, of a dedicated team for your home. And we're going to show you all of our experience and why so many people decide to go with us over any other realtors team. So, what would you say if we meet for 15 minutes? What will be good for you on this weekday or weekends?
No, weekday's fine.
Weekday, that's great. Okay, actually, let me check on the schedule for Jim. He is the specialist on your area. He knows everything, and he will be guiding you through the process. And it looks like he has an opening for tomorrow at noon. Is that okay for you?
Yeah, that's fine. I can come off from lunch.
Great. And just to make sure, are all the decisions makers going to be available, or is just you that takes the
Yeah, it's just
decision?
me.
Great. Okay, Jim. So I will pencil you up right now for tomorrow at noon, and I can call you back also tomorrow morning around 9, just to make sure that we're still um, available for the meeting. Okay,
Okay, that's fine.
that's great. Do you have any questions for me before we go, Jim?
I got a lot of questions, but you know, you said this other guy, Jim's gonna come out tomorrow. So, like, are you not an agent, or what exactly? Like, I don't understand what your role is.
Oh well, I am assistant on the team to actually uh, find make the contact, right, to find the information on the homes that we're looking for buyers. So on that area specifically where your home is, the specialist that will be on these days visiting will be Jim. So he's actually the one that has the knowledge and on the market on that area, right? To do the evaluation of the home.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's
that's
fine.
why that's our best approach for getting your home sold, right? So
Okay, that's fine.
great. If you have any questions about our team or about our marketing, we can also send you some information to your email so you can have some head ups and maybe clarify some questions that you might still have right now and get more specific questions resolved with Jim when you meet with him tomorrow. What would be a good email to send you this information?
Sure. It's angryseller@gmail.com.
Okay, we will need to change that email, Jim, after this. Okay,
All
great.
right.
So
Good.
I look forward to hearing about your meeting with Jim for tomorrow. And remember, I will still call you just to make sure that we're still on the we're still for the meeting.
Okay.
Great. Okay. So nice meeting you, Jim, and you have a great day.
Okay. All right. Bye
Okay. Bye bye.
bye. So click. Okay. So Diego, that was a tough one. But you did good. There were some things that obviously you're going to get a tough person once in a while on the phone. And they are just that. They're going to be a little bit harder to try to convert. But sometimes the way I look at it mentally is when I get someone who's tough on the phone, I don't know if it's maybe the, not competitive part of me, but I kind of look at it as like a challenge. Those are usually the people I can most convert. The reason being is I don't talk too much. And I will say that
You
in,
want to talk more, right?
right, right. I want them to talk a lot more than I do. So if you get someone like right off the bat, Diego, the first like couple sentences out of their mouth, if they're just like, "Oh no, is this another agent?" Immediately you have to know you're going to be short and brief and really focus on questions. So I think now because that was kind of one of your first tough conversations, um, and we haven't really mastered all the scripts quite yet on how to deal with some of the for sale by owner ones and get better at response time to some of the things that are being thrown out, especially if he kind of says over and over again in the same way, I'm just going to do it myself. So I just want to point out there are some really good objection handlers on how to do that. The first one, if you scroll down to the for sale by owner fallacies, let me see which one that is. That is on,
14. 14.
yes. So this one here, this has got a couple good responses. And now I wouldn't recommend memorizing the whole thing, Diego, but pick one or two paragraphs and like really stick with that. So, for example, I actually literally read this sentence verbatim. Why would I want to do that? I don't want to pay big commission if I can do it myself. And because we didn't really necessarily know where or how to respond to the script, we kind of ramble a little too much. So it's kind of like, oh, I understand, and then we're trying to piecemeal it versus knowing exactly where that is and go and be very accurate and on top of our scripts, especially with people like that, because they'll probably hang up if you're not. And we, right, exactly. They're going to pick up on that. And what happens with those types of people is I'm not going to go into that part immediately before I actually start asking them questions. So if I get someone on the phone who like automatically picks up and they're like, "Oh God, is this another realtor calling about my property? Where were you guys when I was actually on the market?" That's a great question, Mr. Seller. I'd love to see if I can actually answer that question for you. But I mean, are you still in the market? I just fire right back at them. That's a great question. I mean, are you still in the market? and immediately mirror and match them. You're gonna, deactivate them essentially if you start getting them talking and getting them off of whatever frustration. Like they just pick up the phone, they have time to talk to you. So, and our whole point is we're really good at what we do, so we want to help you. But that's a great question. I mean, like, do you still need to sell your house? Is it still available? No, it's off the market. Okay, well, I mean, what circumstances would enable you to put it back on the market? Why did you take it off? And
Right.
that's what
Because
I
it didn't.
exactly, and that's why right after your first conversation, if they start out with, is this another realtor calling about it? And actually, like I said, my name's Joe. I work with the real estate team, but the reason I'm actually calling you is because I saw your home came off the market. I wanted to find out if it's still available or if you did sell it. No, I didn't sell it. You stupid agents, like you just keep calling me and where were you where the hell were you when my house was on the market? That's a great question, Mr. Seller. It sounds like you have a lot of agents calling, and I can certainly appreciate how frustrating that is. Unfortunately, we're not able to look at all the houses that were on the market. There's literally over 1,000 just in this county. So, unfortunately, we weren't able to take a look at yours. But the reason I'm calling is because I wanted to figure out when you're looking to hire the right agent for the job to get your home back on the market and sold. Why would I do that? I'm just thinking about doing it myself. We're gonna stay, and if we do decide to sell, I'm doing it myself because I'm not paying your commission, and work hard and whatever else I throw at you. Okay, well, Mr. Seller, I mean, like, why do you need to sell your house then? Let's say you sell it yourself. Why are you moving? And try to deflate them. Don't try to fight them. Remember, we're not trying to create motivation. We're trying to find it. So we're diggers. We're not salespeople on the phone. We're diggers. We're question askers. So when we're on the phone with them and they're getting rude or they're kind of heated or angry or whatever the case might be, the best way to get them off of it is to talk about their goals and ask them the questions in there,
Yeah.
the too soon of a close question. And we kind of skipped that. We went right into trying to answer their objections. And then that's just going to keep leading the conversation into us trying to catch up instead of us taking control. So to take control of that conversation, Diego, we have to ask the question. So, you did a good job kind of asking me some things that, what do you think the agent liked? What were some things that you might change? But if you have someone and they haven't been deflated yet, they're still kind of angry, we're not necessarily going to ask them questions to start getting their objections quite yet. Because we want them to essentially calm down and talk to us. And we want to make sure we have that type of attitude, like we're not playing into their energy as well. That's hard to do with negative people because negative energy is very contagious. So when you're on the phone, you might just be like, "Whew, that was a tough one," or whatever it might be. But then we got to kind of snap right out of it. The best way to combat it is to just kind of remain neutral and just be like, "Okay, so you want to sell it yourself? That's cool. So why do you need to sell your house? Just get them right off of it."
Correct. You're not fighting him that
No,
he should not do it himself,
no,
but you're just.
exactly. Because I'm switching from trying to set the appointment, which is my goal. That is always going to be the number one objective. Because, set the appointment, ask for a referral, or just build rapport. So you can't fail if you're building rapport. So just deactivate them. Oh, God, is this another agent? You guys just keep calling about my house, and like, this is getting ridiculous. Where were you when I was on the market? And Mr. Seller, I mean, that's a great question. And actually, in fact, I completely understand how frustrated you might feel with all these agents calling you. The main reason I want to call you is I want to see if I can help. So I wanted to find out if your home actually came off the market or if you sold it. Well, I mean, whatever. I mean, I get we're not trying to move right now. We're just going to take it off the market. Okay, I can understand that. Um, I mean, when would you be looking to hire the right agent for the job to sell your house? I don't know, man. I told you I'm just taking off the market. I don't know what your problem. I mean,
No, but in that case, you could say like, why? Wait, you said that you will be staying there, right? So,
exactly. So that's
were you gonna be moving
gotcha.
somewhere before? What changed, right?
Yeah.
For you to
So
move?
so in that case, Diego, if you're not reading people, you'll go right into that trap on the script. I just did it by trying to ask him for business when he was upset. So instead of doing that route, what you can say then is, I just want to figure out if your home came off the market. Oh, God, man, I'm sick of you people. Like, you call me all the time when it's off the market, never when it's on. Okay, well, I understand that. Um, so let's say you take it off the market, and that's cool. Why do you need to sell your home?
So why did you not just sell the home the first time, right? What changed?
Yeah. So what's prompting you?
Yeah.
Like, why? Where are you moving to? And just be friendly. Just be like, man, I completely understand. I know how that is. Honestly, sometimes it bothers me when other agents call and they don't know what they're doing. So let me ask you. I mean, why do you need to sell your home? Well, I don't need to sell my home. I told you I'm taking it off the market and we're going to stay. That's cool. So let's say if you did do it, let's say you sold it yourself or whatever you want to do with the property. If you do sell, were you going to stay local? Man, what does that have to do with selling my home? Like, what's your goal? What are you trying to do here? Who are you? Well, like I said, Mr.
Yeah.
Seller, I work with the real estate team, and we actually specialize in helping people whose homes didn't sell the first time around. And I was just calling to see if you do need to sell it. So, I mean, let's say that no other agents call you, you hang tight. I mean, was there something that made you have to move, or you just want to move? Well, we wanted to move, but these stupid real estate agents, they just, they tell you the whole world and give you a dog and pony show and then they don't do anything. I gotcha. I can understand that, Mr. Seller. I talked to a lot of people who were in your situation. Um, so let me ask you then, if you wanted to move, I mean, where were you going? What prompted that to happen? Well, we just want to retire and get out of the state. The state sucks and it's too hot here and we need to get out of here. Okay. Well, when you first put your home on the market, I mean, what do you think were the reasons why it didn't sell? I mean, it sounds like you want to get out of here, but can you tell me about maybe one of the things that maybe you liked about the house when it was on the market that the agent did, or something that could have been done differently? I'm just curious to see if I can help you, Mr. Seller, because it sounds like obviously you're very frustrated. I totally get that. I mean, selling a home is not easy. So what was something that you liked about the last agent? Well, I don't know. I guess I liked that I fired her because she sucked and she didn't do anything as I told her and she never communicated. Okay. So it sounds like communication was an issue. Um, you feel like they should have probably communicated better with you, right? Yeah, I mean, they definitely need to communicate better with me. Okay. Um, so what made you choose that agent? Did you just like run into them or was it a relative? Like, how did you choose that agent? I don't know. I mean, I found their information online and she just called me and she sounded nice. She said she was local, so I just kind of picked her. Okay, well, that's cool. Um, so, minimum standard, I mean, do you feel like she did everything she could to get the property sold? I mean, it doesn't sound like she didn't work hard as much as maybe there was just some things that she dropped, like communication. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, whatever she said that she was going to do to market it, I guess it was online and stuff, but it didn't sell, so I'm not really sure. Okay. So, Mr. Seller, let me ask you a question then. Going back to why I'm really calling you today is I really do want to help you. And I work with a team that specializes in selling homes that didn't sell the first time. And I mean, I was hoping to see if you can get together to just talk about it. You don't have to list with us. We just want to see if we can figure out why it didn't sell and then what needs to happen for it to sell at this point and let you choose how you want to handle that. It's a free consultation, no hassles. Kind of show you how we do things differently because we know how it is. Every agent who is looking for business just to list homes is going to call you when that expires, and we're different. We're very proactive. So we'd love to show you what that looks like. I mean, when's a good time for us to just talk and just review what we can do to help? I don't know, man. I mean, I guess I would do it. I mean, I just don't know. I think it's so frustrated at this point. I'm not sure what we want to do. Okay, well, I can appreciate it. Um, Now, I know you said you wanted to get out of the state. I mean, let's just say we could get you what you need financially and, you know, get you what you net, because that's what we really care about is how much you're going to walk away with. If that number makes sense, I mean, would you be willing to at least talk to us? I guess so. I mean, how much could you get me? Well, that's a great question, Mr. Sell. Honestly, like I said, we don't see every home that's on the market. And really, our specialist, Jim, he's a gentleman who really just focuses on selling the houses, and that's why we're so effective. He's going to have to see it in person because it looks like this home it might have some features or upgrades that we need to see in person, just like any other home. You might have the Taj Mahal on the inside and it's worth more than it was listed previously, or there might be some advice we can give you, on maybe some repairs or something in it that we can talk about maybe reducing it. Whatever the case, we got to see it. So, unfortunately, I don't want to do you the injustice of just giving you a quote, never seen a home. So, um, I'd love to have Jim talk to you about that. I mean, is there time this weekend that you're available to do it? Oh, I don't know. Um, could you send me more information about your company or something? I don't really know where you guys found our information. That's a good question. We certainly can. We can email you our contact info. Um, and we got your information on, um, the internet. I'm not sure which source it came from. Like I said, I'm just an assistant on the team. And when we pull info on properties, this is just associated with yours. But um, let me ask you this though, Mr. Seller. We didn't talk about time. I mean, you want to move, but let's say we can get you what you need financially. What we say makes sense. How soon do you need to get out of the state? Oh God, I mean, we'd probably as soon as we can. We already moved out. We told the other agent we were serious, and she didn't work hard. Gotcha. Okay, so basically as soon as possible. Is that correct? Yeah, that'd be great. We'd sell tomorrow if we could. Awesome. Well, honestly, Mr. Seller, that's exactly why we need to get together. Let me do this. Let's have Jim give you um, a quick overview. It's about 15 minutes. He'll drop by. You can show him the house, point out any of the things that you um, have done that we need to see in person, and then we'll sit down and talk about what we need to do to get it sold, and then price, and then let you make that decision. How does that sound? All right. Okay, great. Well, how about this weekend? You have any time on Saturday? We have an opening between 3:30 and 4, and we can pop by 3 or 3:30. Yeah, that'd be fine. All right, that sounds fine. Okay, cool. What's a good email? We'll shoot you our contact info, and we'll pop over at 3:30. All right, it's I'm just getting over being angry at gmail.com. Okay, that's great. Well, I'll shoot you our contact information, and we'll see you Saturday at 3:30. All right, sounds good. Thanks. What was your name again? Oh, my name's Joe, and I just wanted to say thank you. And Jim's going to be our specialist. He's going to be the gentleman who's going to meet you. So Jim will be over at 3:30 on Saturday. Okay, that's fine. All right, great. Have a great day. That may be a sample. So
Yes.
I wanted to play that one out, Diego, because like that would start out kind of angry, and as I kept asking him questions, we moved him into a point where we started to even lower our voices and speak a little bit more calmly. And that's because we can bring them to that point. You might not be able to,
So you said we can what?
we can bring them to that point where they're more calm.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
So, anyway, that was a little bit of a ramble on, but um, that may be how that conversation might go. You know, that's cool. You want to sell it yourself? I get that. So, listen, when would you be looking to hire an agent? Let's say are you open to that? I mean, I would just start asking people questions who are quick. And the greatest thing to do is stick to the too soon of a close. Do you need to sell? Where are you moving to? How soon you need to be there? What do you think your home didn't sell the first time around? Um, and then
You
really,
can
if
ask them like, what's what's the best thing from your home, right? What you like more from your home, right? What
What,
makes your home different than the others on the
right.
market?
And kind of going back to number 14, the that for sale by owner fallacy script, there's some good stuff in there, Diego, that you can use for anything. This would be like any objection if you kind of get flack or they ask you the same question over again, like what do you do differently? Maybe they ask you that like 3 different times. You already talked about the 4 P's. And the other thing too is I noticed we don't necessarily have a script for the 4 types of buyers yet. So I'm going to type that one up because that is a really good one, especially for sale by owners. Um, but
Yeah.
one of the things that we can stick to
You see
is
that I take notes, right?
what's that?
You can see that I take notes from what you say.
Yeah. One of the things that we can kind of stick to, Diego, is one of the paragraphs in here. Um, this one's good if you have someone who yeah, I don't know, I might just do it myself, or I don't want to pay any commission or something like that. Okay, well I can completely understand where you're coming from, Mr. George. Did you know that 95% of all the homes sold in Georgia are with the assistance of a buyer's agent? No. What does that mean? It's a good question. I mean, the reason I say this is that, Mr. George, you could potentially be missing out on thousands of buyers that are in the market to buy in your neighborhood, but they're just simply not aware of your property because it hasn't been aggressively marketed with the real estate team. So, our firm, the Casbarro team, we specialize in working with for sale by owners just like yourself. And we assist them with aggressively marketing your home to get it top dollar within a minimum amount of days on market. In fact, we even have a program where you can continue to market the home on your own and you don't owe us a commission if you find your own buyer. So, just out of curiosity, Mr. George, if there is a way that we can show you how teaming up with our company and selling your home with us will in fact get you more money and more qualified people into your property, thus getting your property sold without all the headaches that come with doing it on your own, would that be at least something you would be interested in learning about? If you can master those 2 paragraphs, Diego, you would almost always convert people.
Well, I can see why, right? Because specifically on the part where, in fact, we even have a program where you can
Mm-hmm.
continue to market the home on your own. I
Yeah.
mean,
They might ask you a
yeah,
question like, hey, can you tell me about
they
that?
want, yeah, I mean, that's what they want, to try to sell it themselves
Right.
because they don't want to have a compromise for another 6 months, right?
Yeah. And
So
even if,
you're giving that option, right?
correct. And like, even if they still come back and they're like, man, I don't know, we might be interested in doing that program you talked about. I mean, how does that work? Well, that's a great question, Mr. Owner. And honestly, that's something that our specialist will talk to you about because he's really the master at that. And he'll break down all the specific questions and then obviously get anything that you have answered in person. But I will say this though, I mean, we're really honest and upfront. If we can't work with you, that's cool. It might be in your best interest to do it yourself. But if there's a better way, what would it hurt for you at least to see it and figure it out? And if we can help you, we'd love to earn your business. So, you know, we want to show you how our program works. Our evenings or afternoons better to show you. Yeah, well, all right. And you might, who knows, you might convert most of the people with that paragraph. So that's a really good one to stick to, Diego. And then that way, even if they jump at you like right off the bat, like, oh no, we're gonna stay. Um, we're just not doing it. We're gonna do it ourselves. Okay. Well, what would be like a benefit in doing that? Like something specifically? Well, the specific benefit is we save on commission. I mean, why would I ever want to pay a commission? Well, I can completely understand that, Mr. Seller. I mean, honestly, did you know that 95% of all the homes sold in Georgia are with the assistance of a buyer's agent? No, I didn't. I didn't
I,
know that. I mean, what does that mean, though? Well, what that means is basically is someone who's working with an agent, and really, this is a good time to explain the 4 types of people. Basically, to help because we're educators, Mr. Seller, and this is kind of what we do every day. So, what we try to find are the 2 types of serious buyers, and there's 4 total. The one is serious in a hurry. They're usually working with the realtor because they're moving out of state. They need to buy quick as possible. They don't have time to go owner to owner to owner to find out about your home and then not have someone help them with paperwork and everything else that has to happen. So the serious in a hurry, always working with the buyer's agent. The second type are serious and not in a hurry. They may be like a first time homeowner. They want to buy, they're serious, they're qualified, they're ready to roll, but they might need a little bit more assistance, someone to kind of help them hold their hand through their transaction because this may be the first time they're doing this. And they're working with an agent. Then you have investors. Investors always want to lowball you. And they always look for sell by owners. Any red sign with white writing, guess what? You're a target. They're going to want to steal your home. And I don't know if you want to do that because obviously you want to make as much as possible because you're not even willing to do the commission. So the last type of people are looky-loos, and they're not serious at all. In fact, they're probably just nosy neighbors or people who want to see what your home is decorated like. So we say that 95% of the homes that are sold are with the assistance of a buyer's agent because if you're serious, you're going to need help. It's a huge decision. So the reason I bring that up, Mr. Seller, is because you could potentially be missing out on all the thousands of buyers who are serious in a hurry and not serious in a hurry who are working with an agent who want to buy in your neighborhood, but they're just not aware of your property because it hasn't been aggressively marketed with the real estate team. So one of the things that we do differently is we specialize in working for sell by owners just like yourself. We assist them with aggressively marketing your home to get you top dollar with a minimum amount of days on market. And in fact, we even have a program where you can continue to market the home on your own and you don't owe us a commission if you do find your own buyer. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Okay, that sounds interesting. I mean, how does that program work? That's a great question, Mr. Seiler. We'd love to show you. And in fact, I mean, if there was a way we can show you how teaming up with our company and selling your home with us will get you more money and get you more qualified people to your home, which will in turn get your property sold without all the headaches of trying to do it yourself, would you be interested in hearing a little bit more about that? Oh, yeah, I guess so. That's fine. Okay, well, great. Let's do this. Let's set up an appointment where we can sit down. We'll show you in person, which is the best way to do it. Jim is our specialist to walk you through that program, what it looks like. We can talk about price and any other kind of questions you have. And right now, I'm just pulling up his calendar. He has availability, looks like tomorrow at noon. How does that time work for you? And then just go right into setting the appointment. So something like that, Diego, would be a good example of how using this script will get them like completely off track and you back into control.
Okay, great.
Cool.
Wait, I had a question there,
Sure.
and it was, oh yeah, it was that because we're mentioning that if he sells it, he doesn't owe us a commission, but you're gonna have a sign on the yard, right?
It
He's
depends.
gonna be your, just to know, right? It's gonna be your sign and his sign both at the same time. And what is he gonna be giving a different price than us? Because when people see the sign, or after you take them home, and then they talk to him separately, or maybe that's on the contract, right? But
Yeah.
he gives them a lower price, because I would believe that you put a price above or higher, right, than what he is actually looking for, because he's not going to be paying the commission, right?
Good question. So I'll answer that in a few parts. One is don't talk about price. um,
Yeah,
one, because technically you can't, Diego, because you're not licensed. So that's something that you can't talk about. You
oh,
do in
that was part of the type of answer that I needed to give you when you told me
right.
why Jim, but I didn't remember how that was. So license, that's what you say,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
It is licensed.
Yeah.
Right?
So, Mr. Seller, that's a great question. Honestly, I'm just an assistant with the team and I can't talk about price. But one of our licensed agents who's a specialist in making sure homes get sold, he certainly can. And in fact, for us to get you a good price and not doing injustice, we have to see it in person. Just like if you were looking on your own, you'd never just make a blind offer on a home that could be potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars without seeing it, So we have to do the same thing. And for us, we have to come out and show you in person. So when's a good time for us to do that? But I would not talk about price, Diego. The other reason too is one, like you can't. It sometimes will get them talking and they want more information. You got to get them off that anyway. But the second thing is because our value proposition is not on price. And what I tell people is, listen, Mr. For Sale by Owner or Mr. Expired, if you're really curious about what we can get your home sold for, you're going to have to meet with us. And the reason we don't talk about that on the phone is because price is not our value proposition. It depends on your situation and what's best for you. And we can't figure that out without actually meeting you and seeing the home. So, the information I gathered today is going to be super helpful for our agent to come help you, but we can't give you a price until we actually meet. So, if any other agent quotes you price, this is another little saying that I use is to avoid that conversation. If they say, hey, well, can you bring me a buyer and I'll pay your one commission, or will you reduce your commission, or could you take a hit, or whatever it is? That's a great question. Honestly, Mr. Owner, I'm an assistant and I can't talk about commission. But what I do know is if price was our value proposition, we could probably go find 5 other people who'd be willing to go out of business faster than we would. So we don't work on price. That's negotiable between you and the agent, and we'd love to talk to you about that. When's a good time for us to meet? So.
Great. And about the buyer's commission,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, when they tell you that, they're just gonna pay the buyer commission.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you mentioned something about that, like on two meetings ago, but just to have a quick review on it again. How do you answer that if they tell you,
okay,
you have a buyer, so I will pay you the buyer's commission, and that's it, right?
That's great. And honestly, Mr. For Sale by Owner, we do have buyers. And the reason I'm calling though is to see if you still need to get your home sold though. Is that still the case? Sure.
Okay. Sure, but bring me the buyer.
Sure. And we can talk about how we can do that. When's a good time for us to meet? And we'll show you how we can get buyers to your house.
Oh no, but you said that you already have a buyer.
We do. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. You already have a person interested on buying my home right now, or not?
Yeah, and we need to talk about how much those terms are and what that's going to entail. And honestly, Joe, the best way for us to do that is in person. And, because everything in real estate is negotiable, we need to meet and figure out how that's going to work out. So let's do this. I can come by, we'll see the house. That way I'll show it. You can show it to me. I'll know whether in fact it is still good for our buyers. And then we can talk about what we need to do to get your home sold. So when's a good time for you to do that?
Okay, I get you.
You go right back.
So, I'm focused on that I have a buyer, really, right? That I really have a buyer for that home.
Exactly.
It's not just, because my concern was like, what happens, and then Jim goes and, we need to find the buyer, which that we really have it there. So they lied on me on the phone then because they told me that they had a buyer.
Right. No, we do. And that's the thing. And we can find you. And here's another thing too. If that's the case, what we say is, and this is if you go to number 20, if the seller's not willing to put in the market, if they say, well, why don't you just bring us the buyer? Well, that's a great question. Honestly, Mr. For Sale by Owner, if our buyer's not interested in your home, would you be interested in listing it in the open market? Well, I don't know. Probably, I guess. Okay, great. We need to meet. Because in fact, we even have a program that allows you to put it on the market, and if we don't find you a buyer, you keep the commission. We don't owe you anything. So when could we meet and talk about that? It's a great program for what I think you want to do. Oh, okay. That sounds good. Great. Let's meet tomorrow. So you can quickly tie that back in, and that's a great one too. If you go to number 20, Diego, the one in bold, if our buyer's not interested in your home, because it literally says, most of us, as part of our script, tell the lead that we do have buyers who want to move into their area. And when you encounter this, ask them this question. We might. we have to see it because we don't know if the buyers are going to like it, and we usually screen our properties for our clients. But even if our buyer didn't like it, I mean, are you still going to be interested in listing it in the open market? Well, I don't know. Okay. I mean, did you know that 95% of all the properties sold in Georgia are sold between a buyer's agent? Uh, I assumed it was pretty high. Great. And then go right in that script. So,
Correct. Yeah,
um,
because either if this buyer at the end doesn't decide for the home, we still have many more potential buyers,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
That we can, that we
And
can prospect for
and
you.
what I say to them too is, Mr. Owner, it might take multiple buyers to get your home sold. How many times did you walk into your first house and say, this is it? So we got people all along that process. And because we have so many different types of buyers, wouldn't you want to expose it to all of them and put it on the open market? Why would you miss out for me calling you about one? That's a waste of your time. You do want
Yeah,
to
man.
sell, right?
Well, we're gonna be, and we're gonna check that later, as you said, but we're gonna be using the Mojo